Now, I actually can't believe I've never done this before, but in this video, I'm going to be breaking down my favourite cars in GTA. So, my favourite cars, my opinion. So, I'm going to give my own reasonings. So, yeah, to put it simply, I'm just going to show and describe some cars which I think are my favourite in GTA. Now, I'm going to start with the obvious, and it's the LG Retro Custom. Now, not only is this in, the top favourite cars on my list, but I think in everyone's list. Actually, this car is so good that in my video where I broke down the top best cars in the game, in people's opinion, the LG Retro won the sports class. But not did it just win the sports class, it annihilated every car. So what came second was less than half the votes of the LG Retro. So think about that. A lot of people love the LG Retro, but the reason I like it is because I just love how GTA have incorporated 32, 33 and 34 in one whole model, and they've done their magic again where they don't make it copyrighted in any way, but it still looks like those cars. That's my favorite part. And then never mind all the Benny's builds you can do, the amount of interior options. Benny's cars, so you know what I'm talking about. The different types of builds you can do: tuner builds, drift builds, track builds. But you guys get it. Everyone gets it. The LG Retro is number one if you were to combine everyone's opinion. But this is not in my top 3. The LG Retro is not in my top 3. I will indicate what my top 3 is in this video. But the LG Retro, one of my favorite cars. Now the Tulip. The Tulip's actually been one of my favorite cars since it's been released. And the thing I love about it is the handling, the way that this car handles. You can tell the characteristics is incorporated from the actual muscle cars of that era. If you were just to drive all cars in GTA and then drive this muscle car, you'd probably know how this would feel in real life. The rigidness of it, how it oversteers, just because GTA represent it well. And that's what you get with the Vamos as well. But the reason I didn't pick the Vamos here, it was so close to my top favorite cars. But the reason I love the Tulip is the 4 doors, the amount of options you can put on it as well. And really, unless you've driven it, you won't really understand how great the characteristics of this handling is. This is the car that demonstrates that not only good handling is fun handling in GTA. You don't have to have a good handling car for it to be in your garage. You can have something like this that's fun and rigid. Now the Impaler. The Impaler is one of my favorite cars just because it has so many functions. It looks great. And sometimes you get bored in GTA and you want to drop down a few kinetic mines and you want to see cars launch. Now it's an arena war car. It does come close to the Imperator in my opinion. I just love the way it looks. The way it looks like a harmless cruiser, but you can actually attach guns to it. I don't like to do that. I like to keep it clean. It's a sleeper. You can wheelie this for so long. You've got nitrous options. And you guys know with the nitrous options you can actually slide cars a lot, so you can do that. You can kinetic mine people, you can shoot people if you want. It's a car I really enjoy when I'm bored, and that's why it has to be here at my top favorite cars. So the Comet Retro, one of my favorite cars, and I definitely think it's a lot of people's favorite cars. What I like about it is the fact that they've still integrated the Comet, so the normal Comet in GTA's kind of features like the rear lights, and they've added it onto the Comet Retro with all the design features of like an RWB car. So it's nearly a one-on-one copy of the rollout design. And then again, this is one of those cars where it shows that GTA actually have some car people working for them. I mean, look at the amount of options you have. You have so many options. It's a Benny's car. The way you can play with the fenders, you can make this a rollout design or you can make it something completely different, but everyone knows what it's based off. And really, I've always liked old Porsches. I think they look really cool. Drive car as well. It's very slidey. You can actually drift with this car. I've not learned to fully drift with it. As you see in the video, I've tried to. I've never really practiced it. So the Comet Retro, one of my favorite cars. And yeah, and I think is for many reasons. Now the Sentinel Classic. The Sentinel Classic is, this is more of a personal one. Well, it's all personal because it's my favorite cars. But it comes up at number 3 on my list. Now I must say, it doesn't handle well in GTA. It's really bad at handling. But it's my favorite because I grew up around these cars. There's always been, in real life, there's always been a BMW E30 in my family. There's never been a time where I've not lived and there's not one in my family. This one is based off the M3, which we've never actually had. But they're a lot of money right now. And I think by the time I get to afford one, they'll appreciate even more. So I'll probably never be able to afford one. but it's actually one of the cars on this list where if you know your cars, say for example if you're into Mustangs, you'll realize the Dominator, the mods that it has on it they've nailed it to the T with the right amount of modifications and the perfect type of modifications, and that's what I recognize with this car. Now in real life this has circle headlights, but you can actually get a square headlight modification in real life, and in real life they actually have the wipers, which are the front wipers on this, and the motor, which are really expensive right now and they're really desirable. They're just options that are realistic. Like for example, this rear spoiler that I attached on is from a Sports Evolution M3. The interior on this, the seats actually match the type of seats that you would actually get in an E30 M3, and the dashboard, it actually matches the same type of shapes that you'd see on the E30 M3. When GTA add a car that you really love and they get it right, it's just an appreciation you show on a different level. Now at number 2 spot, 190Z. My second favourite car of all time in GTA, and honestly I'd just like you guys to purchase this vehicle and then you'll understand why. Lift up the hood and there's so much detail in the engine bay, and I was thinking on whether or not to do the most detailed engine bays. I don't know if people want to watch that or not, but this has to be number 1 in the most detailed engine bay in GTA. You know, and that's not even putting in consideration that it's based off the 240Z. This is one of the examples that GTA, when it comes to icons or cars that people really love, or car people, they put so much effort into them, and each body styling, each mod actually fits the vehicle and is an actual aftermarket option for the car in real life. Honestly, it's something GTA don't have to do. They could just make it so they slap on any modification for this car, but they chose to take their time with it and build it up to the beauty it is. Now the Sentinel, the normal Sentinel, which comes number 1 on my top favorite cars. This is my full stop favorite car, and it has been since GTA released. And it's weird because people would ask, you know, why do you like it? It's not fast, it's not got the best performance, it's not even got the best, you know, the most amount of mods. I do like both the Sentinel and the Sentinel XS, but the reason I love it so much is, okay, maybe it's a bit because I'm a kind of a BMW fanboy, and it's just the perfection in this body lining, how the arches are so smooth and bulged out, and this car looks like, you know, if you saw this in real life, it looks like it would fit. It'd fit on the road. The stance of it is so nice. The Sentinel, I like the Sentinel more because it can go into a convertible, and the hardtop variant is not that distinguishable. It's very hard to tell that it's a convertible. And yeah, the main reason I love it so much is just the looks. And the car that it's based off in real life is actually one of my favorite cars, full stop, and it's the V8 BMW M3. The only thing I wish this car had was a bonnet bulge option, like the original M3. That would be so cool. And that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. And again, this is my opinion, obviously because it says my favorite cars in the title. It's just my favorite cars, what I think is a favorite cars. You guys might share some likings with what I like, but most of you won't like what I like, and that's great as well. I would hate a world where we all have the same opinion. But yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.